Today I rise to discuss something that is extremely disturbing. The fact that we have less than 2 weeks before the end of the fiscal year, and yet we have not put any of our appropriations bills on the floor. And by we is not the Appropriations Committee, that is actually right on Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. He decides what comes to the floor, he decides when we do it, and yet he hasn't prioritized our men and women in uniform. I think today that's exactly what we should be doing. But instead, I am sure he'll either conjure up another show vote, like we saw yesterday, or he'll put another partisan nominee on the floor. Instead of considering these appropriations bills, that seems to be what we're doing. Now, I want to be really clear for everyone in the gallery. We have members of the Appropriations Committee, both Democrat and Republican, that sit and work together. We have a job to fund the government. We're supposed to do it by September 30th. We have marked up 11 out of 12 of those bills in an extremely bipartisan fashion. But yet those bills still sit on Chuck Schumer's desk. He hasn't brought one of them to the floor. Now, the House has sent over 5 bills, so what we could be doing is putting the ones that match up on this floor, sending them to conference and actually funding them, but instead, we're doing nothing. I want y'all to know that this isn't new. This is exactly what Chuck Schumer did last year as well. You have Patty Murray and Susan Collins of different parties working together in a bipartisan fashion to figure out a path forward. I commend them for that. Last year, we did 12 out of 12 bills that were marked up out of a Senate committee, were allowed to be amended on TV in front of public by July 27th. Yet those bills sat, Chuck Schumer not putting them on the floor until November 1st of 2023, 127 days after they had been marked up. After that is when we saw the next bill come onto the floor. We actually didn't finish our process until 174 days into the fiscal year last year. That's not only fiscally irresponsible, it is morally irresponsible. The people send us up here to do a job. And my question to the majority leader today is, why aren't you letting us actually do it? I am extremely disappointed that not a single one of these bills, again, this year, has seemed to find their way on the floor. He seems to have no plan to do that. A plan seems to be to kick the can down the road. And as my distinguished colleague from Mississippi said, every time we do that, our men and women pay the price. Secretary Austin, obviously appointed by President Biden, confirmed by this body, has said that a CR will hurt our men and women in uniform. So what we should be doing is figuring out a path forward to fund defense and to fund our veterans. So today you see members of the Republican Party standing up and saying, let's get this chamber back to doing the critical work we were sent here to do. It's long overdue. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm new in this body. I've been here less than 2 years. And yet, for some reason, last year I asked the question. I said, when's the last time we actually did our job on time for the American people? You heard me say it took us 174 days into the fiscal year last year to actually do our job. Now, I want you all to be clear. Every time we do that, every time we kick the can down the road with a CR, continuing resolution, it costs the taxpayers more. Do you want to know what I think about this? You're halting everything. You're halting bidding processes. Have any of you ever had to rebid something? When you rebid something, does the price go up or does it go down? We know it doesn't go down. We know it goes up, which means we're being irresponsible with taxpayer dollars. But yet again, that seems to be what we do year and year and year after year after year after year. So the former staffer came out in me, and I wanted to get to work and figure out when's the last time we actually did our job. The last time we did our job on time, y'all, listen to this, was FY 97. And the last time we actually did it on time by passing bills individually through regular order, FY95. So to all the Senate pages, clearly, you weren't even born yet. That is 30 years ago. For everyone in the chamber that's doing the math, 30 years of kicking the can down the road. The American people deserve better. And yet somehow we can't get the media to cover this. We can't get them to cover the fact that Leader Schumer has refused to lead, but yet used his time on a show vote yesterday where he was trying to put my state in the crosshairs. I am proud of the work that my state has done to protect IVF quickly and effectively, both from the legislature and the governor. Once again, IVF is accessible and legal in every single state across our great nation. But do you know what Chuck Schumer took his time doing yesterday? Creating a show vote for commercials for men and women on the other side of the aisle that are in vulnerable seats, instead of putting the American people first. And Mr. President, the American people are sick of that. And bottom line, they deserve better. And as long as I am in this body, I'm going to keep pushing this issue. I'm going to keep moving it to the front. We are going to find a solution to actually getting back to doing the work the American people sent us up here to do. Thank you. I yield my time.